Hello out there in the YouTube world. I'm back again with another vloggy type of video. More so just for an update on my Omnath Locus of Rage deck. I did a deck tech on him probably a few months ago, yeah. So I'm just coming today with a couple more updates on him. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I also want to come with some updates. First off, I'm going to be looking to post up a couple more deck techs because it seems like people enjoyed those. I didn't get a huge response back from people about what they want to see next. One person said either Slivers or Nekusar, if I remember that correctly. I can definitely go back and check, but only one person really voted in. So in this video, that or on Tumblr if you have it, leave a message there about what deck you want to see. Just say you saw the video, this is your vote. Or in the comment section below, or message me here what deck you want to see next. Right, because I gave Tumblr the vote last time, which again, only one person voted. And now I want to give it back to YouTube to see if the YouTube community has a stronger voice and wants to see a different deck tech on one of the decks that I'll have listed in the description of this video. So, with all of that in mind, let's get to the edits, shall we? Alright, so now we're on to the edits I've made to Omnath. After some testing and... gotta open up my computer here. Just some general testing and just seeing how the deck plays. I made some edits to the deck. First off, we trade out a forest for the new Timber Gorge from Oath of the Gatewatch. It's just basically another guild gate, comes into play tapped, can add a red or green, just a little bit more fixing. We took out two mountains of the deck to add Terrain Generator. You can add a colorless mana to our mana pool, and for 2 tap it, we can put a basic land from our hand onto the battlefield. So, instant speed triggering landfall, it's awesome. Ghost Town, really good in the deck. Tap for colorless, and for 0, we can return it back to our hand. Use this ability only during another player's turn. So basically, it's just we play it, get a 5/5 elemental, and then on someone else's turn, we return it back up to our hand, play it on our turn, get another 5/5 elemental, and just keep going, right? So if this is the only land we have in our hand, we can continuously at least get one 5/5 elemental, and kind of keep that cycle going. Some other cuts of the deck. I get my list out here. We cut out Into the Wilds, Dictate of the Twin Gods, Seek of the Wilds, Druidic Satchel, and Savage Twister. To make room for these upcoming cards, Perilous Forays. It's a 5-mana enchantment. Pay 1, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a land card with a basic land type and put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. Triggers Omnath's Bolt ability. It makes more 5/5 elementals. Really good. Oracle of Moldiah. 4-mana 2/2. You can play an additional land on each of your turns. You play the top card of your library revealed, and you can play the top card if it's a land. I talked about this in the previous video. It's just way too good not to have in the deck. And similarly, we have Mina and Den Wildborn from the new set. 4-mana 4/4, you can play an additional land on each of your turns. And for 2 mana, you can return a land that you control back up to your hand to give a creature trample. Now this actually solves one of the major issues of the deck, which is trample, right? Pushing through damage. 5/5 elementals get blocked pretty easily by little 1/1 or 0/1 chump blockers. So they help cinch up that issue a lot. They're a nice mid-rangey threat, being a 4/4 for 4, and also just doubling up those land drops again, making 2 5/5 elementals pretty easily. Just, you know, a great part of the 99. Blasphemous Act, replacing Savage Twister. I completely forgot about this card. This is a much better board wipe than Savage Twister. For 9 mana, you get a sorcery. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield, and does 13 damage to each creature. So, head over heels, much better board wipe. I can't believe I forgot about this card. So, I definitely put it in there. And the last 2 cards, actually, Animus Awakening is our basically Genesis wave for lands. It's a green and an X. Reveal the top X cards of your library, put all land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped, the rest in the bottom of your library in random order, but with Spell Mastery they come into play untapped. We're really just focused on getting them into play. It doesn't matter if they're into play tapped or untapped. Just getting mass amounts of 5/5s with Omnath is awesome. And finally, Boundless Realms. Another card I kind of didn't think of when I first made the deck. It's a 7-mana sorcery. Search your library for up to X basic lands, where X is the number of lands you control, and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Once again, this is getting basically the rest of our basics out of the deck onto the battlefield. So this is kind of one of those all-in types of cards where it's, I'm going to get all the basics out. Hopefully Omnath will be on the field, just make a bunch of 5/5s and try and just get there. So, a really powerful card, definitely should be in the list for any Omnath deck. Right, so just getting back now, checking the comments. Zach, you did vote for either Nekusar or Slivers, so I got that correct beforehand. Now I just kind of run through some of the comments that are on the video and just to address some of your questions that you had that I never really got to replying to. This is just in general for everyone that made a comment here. James Bloor says, needs more bombs/win cons. Where are Storm Cauldron and Mana Bond? I don't know. I feel like the deck doesn't really need very big, bomby spells, as long as you have ways of getting lands hitting the field with Omnath on the battlefield. I mean, making at least 3 5/5s a turn sometimes with haste or, with some sort of other static ability puts a lot of pressure on people. So really, the cool thing about this deck is that it doesn't need a whole lot of creatures. It just needs a lot of ramp spells. And so that's just the way I made it. I'll have to look into these two cards, see how they might fit into the deck. But who knows? Maybe I'll add them in. I actually don't really know what they do, but again, I don't know. What's up? 9013 says, what is the best way to sort of counter this deck? James Bloor also responded back to him, mass land destruction. Yes, if you want to play cards like Armageddon, there's a couple other ones too, I'm completely blanking here, but cut off their land base and yeah, they're pretty much screwed. If you don't want to do that, you could always, apply the whole saying, if you can't beat them, join them. If you can out-ramp them, then you get the, advantage over them and start applying pressure to them first. If not, I would direct you to Devin Rules of the Commander Rules Committee. He did a video on CMDRDecks, the Oros the Avenger equipment deck. One of the best ways to counteract a ramp deck is to just start attacking them, right? Apply pressure early while they're casting things like rampant growths and explosive vegetations and things like that. If you can get in there early with good aggressive creatures with equipments, it does, add up very quickly against a ramp deck. Another way is just make sure you have enough sweepers in your deck. I know a lot of people may not like that, just because it's not exactly the most fun thing to be, sweeping the board every other turn. But really, this deck, Omnath specifically, in the way I've built it, it pumps out so many 5/5s that you need things like Wrath of the God, Day of Judgment. If you want to go budget, End Hostilities. There's a new one from Battle for Zendikar that has the Awaken mechanic. Just include more sweepers, right? I mean, if you can clear the battlefield of those big creatures, then you can kind of establish a board presence afterwards while they're kind of low on cards, because what they're doing is they're dumping out their hands with ramp spells and artifact ramp and things like that, and then hoping to just play out big creatures early and smash face. If you can counteract that by clearing off their board and then reestablishing yours faster than they can, That's probably the best way to counter this deck. Frankie Phantom, I'm probably butchering your name here, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm assuming Azusa is out of budget. Also, Budak, I cannot pronounce this card for the life of me. Budaka Gardener is good. I will check that card because I'm not sure about what it does. But Azusa, I don't want to say it's out of budget, because I could probably put one in the deck, but I think it might be a little bit overkill, right? I think there's enough ramp in the deck as is that I don't need Azusa. Obviously, you could put her in the deck, like cut out something like Natural Connection, the 3-mana Rampant Growth. You can cut out really any of the other sorcery speed ramp spells that are in the deck if you want to make it more competitive. I think it's fine for now, so I'm not going to be head over heels to go and grab myself an Azusa for the deck. But if you really want to be competitive with the deck, anyone who's looking to build this sort of deck, Azusa is a very good card. It's just, you do need to fork over the cash for it. Haha Smiles says, by the way, I happen to notice no anti-flying creatures, so if there is an air creature, that could mean trouble. I think Pimp Shroom had a pretty good response here. Then you attack with 5/5s and they are bound to block. And if they do, they lose creatures. And if they don't, they lose a lot of life. But more importantly, if they do block and your creatures die, they bolt and crap out of the flyers. Yeah, so, you know, Pimp Shroom did have a good response to this. It's just, we put on so much pressure against creatures or players with flyers that's like, we don't really care about their flyers. When they have a 4/6 Consecrated Sphinx on the field and we're swinging in with 5/5/5s, we don't really care that they have a Consecrated Sphinx. And also, Haha Smile asked how much is the price. I can check that right now. I believe last time I checked, it was around 190 or 180. Let me give you a price total on that. On Tapped Out, it currently has it listed for non-foil pricings at $192.09 to build this entire deck. So if you're going to try and build something like this, you want to either take pieces of the deck and apply it to your own, or just build my list card for card. Again, it's going to be around $190. Maybe a little bit more because some of the cards are foil, but again, I make my Tapped Out list without the foilings, so I'm not sure how that affects the price. Yep, so really that's about it, guys. I just addressed a couple of the comments here, asking some questions that I never really got around to responding to, so I'm sorry about that. Once again, leave your comments below about what deck you want to see next. I'll have a list of them in the comment section or the description below, as well as the link to my Tumblr page. I've been really active on Tumblr lately. I don't do Twitter or a lot of the other things people do. I'm mainly on Tumblr. I don't know why, but I just am. I just think it's easier to use, apparently. I'll have lists to my Tapped Out. I have all of my EDH decks are updated and on there. I have my Modern deck there, which if you guys want to see my Modern deck, I'm happy to go over that with you as well. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. Expect to hopefully see more deck tech videos, more update videos about my decks, any changes I may make as new sets come out, or as if I can find cards in my local game store to replace old cards. And yeah, maybe expect more vlogging videos, because I have some opinions on some things coming up here for Magic and gaming related, but again, no guarantees because I can't hold myself to consistently make videos, apparently. So once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.